If you've played through BONELAB, you've probably heard of the phrase B-side, most notably from the top of the city block in Void G114 at the end of the game. So what's important about this one word? There's plenty of other random words written on the city block that could be just as important. Well, no. B-side is an upcoming Stress Level 0 game, and today I'm going to explain to you what it is, and also share all the information that we know so far about B-side, and on top of that, cook up a few little theories. So the top of the city block was the first mention of B-side. A lot of people, and me included, thought that B-side was originally going to be a large-scale update for BONELAB that would add a bunch of levels which would be similar to the existing ones but slightly different. This would explain why there's so many songs that are unused in the OST, that are very similar, yet have no role yet. Turns out this has been completely disproven. On top of the word officially being claimed by Stress Level 0, Brandon's also been speaking in the Unofficial BONELAB Discord server recently, and he confirms straight up, out of nowhere, that B-side is an upcoming game. And it seems very likely from the things he said that B-side is straight up the next game. Let's take a look at the details just now. It may seem like there's absolutely nothing to talk about when it comes to B-side, but there has been some little droplets of information here and there that are really worth talking about. As previously discussed, we now know that Brandon has confirmed it as a new game that is coming up, and what's more interesting is that he says it was never intended to be a B-side to BONELAB, but rather to be a B-side to Boneworks. This is ginormous, because everybody thought B-side was mostly connected towards BONELAB, but it turns out they're actually going to be returning more so to Boneworks when this game comes out. And of course the impressions on Boneworks are definitely a lot better than BONELAB. More on what Brandon said, he also said that B-side was visible in Boneworks, so this whole time we actually got a glimpse of B-side, and you might have seen a glimpse of the cutscene in the video earlier. It is the cutscene after you reset the time tower. So after Ford resets the time tower, he goes into this weird world where it's a mesh between the virtual world and reality. As you can see, he can still force grab the crowbar, but he's also technically in real life. So this is all we get on B-side, but this can give us more information than you might first think. There isn't many certainties we can actually get from this, but there are definitely a lot of theories we can come up with. And just before we get to the theories, let's speak about what else we know so far. So another very yet confusing part of information that we got from Brandon in this conversation on Discord was about the Ice House. This is something that is apparently in BONELAB's files, and apparently was data mineable, but throughout this entire time, none of the modders have found anything to do with an ice house, just many other ice assets. Brandon outright confirms that whatever ice house is for B-side, meaning that there might be some sort of map inside of B-side which is an icy house, meaning that we could see the introduction of ice physics into a game. Don't know if that's a good or a bad thing. It's a very interesting and weird discovery. Maybe that means that all of the ice elements that are unused in BONELAB will be used in B-side, or maybe they were planned for B-side all along. And real quick, I want to give a big thank you to Brian Bones for helping me find all of these small details about B-side, because we've got quite a few coming up. So Alex is one of the main devs at Stress Level 0, and he's given us a lot of different images in the past. First off, we have many references to different types of food, and it has been said in the past that Stress Level 0 wants to incorporate some sort of food system into one of their games, such as being able to give yourself buffs and stuff like this. A lot of these foods can actually be found in Boneworks, except they have no functionality yet. Maybe B-side is the game where we see this functionality to be added, and if that's correct, then that means that we could be seeing this liquid super duper and pizza. The pizza sign could also be referring to the pizza demon, which we see all over Boneworks and BONELAB. Next up is the Saber Lake logo. We all know the good old Saber Lake logo, but consider this. This logo could potentially be the logo for B-side, straight up. I would not be surprised if they did this to us and put it right in front of our noses and none of us ever realized. So B-side could potentially heavily be influenced by Saber Lake. Although I kind of doubt this, because it seems as if Fall of the Machine King is going to be the Saber Lake kind of focused game. Next up is from the amazing composer Michael Wickoff on Twitter, who said in 2023, The middle of 2023, this means the BONELAB has been well out by this point, so there are some unused tracks in Bone Tones and Lab Jams that we've never heard before that are going to be used in Boneworks 2, which we now basically know is B-side. Although there is one snippet of one song that is for a future game that we have heard, and this is the unused WCCK jingles in the BONELAB OST, which Riot did actually say this was a sneak peek for a future game.
That's the monkey, which means hit that dial button because caller 9, you're winning a trip to Stress Level 0 headquarters, where you'll get a very special simian avatar customized personally for you.
I can't imagine how many things they've hidden right in front of us that we still haven't picked up on. One thing we have picked up on though, is this clipboard in Boneworks that says about a desert chase. Alex has told us directly that he wants the intro of B-side to be a motorcycle chase in the middle of the desert. And this was referenced all the way back in Boneworks on this clipboard here. People actually picked up on this one though. So if you see any sort of leak or sneak peek that happens to be a motorcycle chase in the desert, you guys know what game it is. That's B-side. Obviously things are subject to change, so maybe it will look different to this in the future, but as of now, we know the B-side intro to be a motorcycle desert chase against void demons or something. That's just crazy. With that said, I believe that is mostly everything we know so far, but there's guaranteed to be something that I missed, and if there is something that you know about that I missed, then do let me know down in the comments or on Discord. I'd heavily appreciate it. But anyways, now it's theory time. From all this information that we've got and all the hints we've got throughout the games, what can we imagine B-side as? There's a lot of small little things that I've picked up on, which might be just crazy tinfoil hat theories and stuff, but I don't know, some of these seem like they could be real. Starting off, I want to go over to the BONELAB OST because yes, I always have to speak about the BONELAB OST in every video because I love it so much, but the unused song Dream World just seems to make a lot of sense in the context of B-side. From the clip that we got in Boneworks, we know that B-side is literally a dream world. It seems to be a mesh between reality and the virtual world, and the title Dream World just clicks with that so well. Although a lot of the lyrics do seem to point towards the body log and the whole concept of changing avatars, so maybe it is just an unused song for BONELAB at the moment. But there's just something about this song that I think means something for B-side. It's especially the name. And the fact that it seems to not fit anywhere in BONELAB yet makes me think that this will be used for B-side. Next up, let's take a look back to the first concept arts we got of Project 4. Now, most people know Project 4 as BONELAB, but I'm pretty sure Project 4 is technically B-side, and BONELAB's kind of referred to as Project 3.5. So if we take a look at these concept arts here, this could still be B-side. A lot of people thought that this eventually just turned into BONELAB, but I think that this could still be very viable for B-side. It's a very crazy looking place that we still haven't seen anywhere in any game, so it would make perfect sense for it to appear in B-side. And what's most interesting is these weird ghost omni-projector dudes. These seem like a new enemy that we could be seeing in B-side. My only thing against this is that this concept art with the skyscraper looks a lot like the Lab Jams album cover, and there's no way that the Lab Jams album cover would actually be the next game all along, right? There's no way that would happen. But at the same time, we really don't know. Alright, and the next thing I want to touch on is at the end of Boneworks, we see another cutscene. This cutscene is when Ford gets shot in the back of the head in real life, but he's still alive because he's immortal within the void now. Now, Brandon didn't say anything about this cutscene being linked to B-side, but once again, we see void entities stood at the end of the room while the people in real life are also in the same room. So once again, we have this mesh of reality and virtual reality, and to me that's exactly what B-side is. So this could once again be another clip from said B-side, except Brandon never confirmed it, so we can't say for certain, but in my opinion, this clip at the end of Boneworks is B-side. I personally think B-side's going to be heavy on kind of mixed reality, and I don't mean the type on your Quest 3. I mean literally mixed reality. The virtual world and the real world are linked together, and you can influence both the virtual world and the real world by doing stuff in and out of both. Of course, right now we have very limited information, but this information that Brandon and everyone else has given us, these little breadcrumbs they've left for us in the past, really can amount to something. And I think that we could be onto something with some of these ideas. I could go on and on about little details in which I think could potentially link to B-side. For example, in Big Anomaly, this clipboard refers to something that is redacted. This is 100% B-side in my opinion, but that's a story for another day. With that said, I'm going to end the video here. Thank you all so much for watching, and if you have any information or theories on B-side, please drop it in the comments or link it to me on Discord. I would love to hear it. This is one of my most highly edited videos, so I really hope you enjoyed it. And with that said, I'll see you later. Goodbye everybody. If you want to support me further, then make sure to hit the subscribe button or hit that join button and become a member. Thank you all, and I'll see you next time. Thank you so much to all of my supporters. Gunnar Dahan, Tentacles, Zeromatic, Pie Lover, Mizzy Keen, Dank Meme Boy, Purgefly Fox, Judger and Chris, Ninja Gamer, Fernando Eurista, Oddo, Sage of Kindness, Flamsy, Cole's Tunes, Mystery, Lealdo, The Best Evie, Flipper Flopper, Sardalini, PS King, Gamer Tin Can Endure, Fancy Man, and Frosty the Beastar. You guys are all absolute legends.